Hello, welcome to Biography TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. Biography of Jaafar Muhammad Nimeiry. Jaafar Muhammad Nimeiry was the President of Sudan from 1969 to 1985. He came to power after a military coup he championed in 1969. With his party, he initially pursued socialist and Pan-Arabist policies. In 1972, he signed the Addis Ababa Agreement, which led to the end of the First Sudanese Civil War. He later became an ally of the United States. In the late 1970s, he moved towards Islamism, and in 1983, he imposed Sharia law throughout the country, starting the Second Sudanese Civil War. He was overthrown in 1985 and went into exile in Egypt. Jaafar Nimeiry had his primary education at the Omdurman Primary and Elementary School. He then attended Wad Madani Secondary School. He proceeded to the Khartoum University College. In 1952, he graduated from the War College in Omdurman and received a Master of Military Science from Army Command and General Staff College in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, United States in 1966. While serving in the Sudanese Army, Nimeiry was accused in 1955 of planning a coup d'etat against the country's democratic system at that time, but the investigation yielded nothing. He was again interrogated regarding another failed coup attempt led by an officer named Khalid Yusuf, but there was nothing to against Nimeiry in the attempted coup. In 1969, together with 4 other officers, Colonel Nimeiry carried out a coup that overthrew the civilian government of Ismail al-Azari. His coup was tagged the May Revolution, and he assumed the position of Prime Minister and Chairman of the Revolutionary Command Council (RCC). He started a campaign to reform Sudan's economy through nationalization of banks and industries, as well as some land reforms. In 1971, Nimeiry was elected president. He then ordered the dissolution of the RCC and founded the Sudanese Socialist Union, which he declared to be the only legal political organization. He was pivotal in ending the First Sudanese Civil War when in 1972 he signed the Addis Ababa Agreement in favor of the non-Muslim southern region of Sudan. This ushered in an 11-year period of peace and stability to the region. In 1973, he introduced a new constitution which declared Sudan to be a democratic socialist state and gave appreciable power to the office of the president. He was elected chairman of the OAU in July 1978. In late 1975, Nimeiry survived a military coup led by Brigadier Hassan Hussein Usman. His deputy, General El-Bagir, led a counter-coup that brought Nimeiry back within few hours. Brigadier Osman, wounded, was later court-martialed and subsequently executed. In 1976, a force of 1,000 insurgents armed and trained by Libya crossed the border into Sudan. About 3,000 people died in the 3 days. The insurgents engaged house-to-house fighting in Khartoum and Omdurman. This sparked national resentment against the Libyan leader Muammar al-Gaddafi. Nimeiry and his government were saved after a column of army tanks entered the city. 98 persons implicated in the failed coup were executed. Nimeiry was one of only 2 Arab leaders who maintained close relations with Anwar Sadat of Egypt after the Camp David Accords of 1978. He attended Sadat's funeral in 1981. In 1981, Nimeiry began a dramatic shift towards Islamist political governance and allied himself with the Muslim Brotherhood. In 1983, he imposed Sharia law throughout the country, an act that the predominantly Christian and animist South opposed. He also dissolved the Southern Sudanese government in violation of an earlier agreement signed in Addis Ababa. This prompted the Second Sudanese Civil War. Political and economic discontent against Nimeiry grew over several years, and in 1985, after a series of protests and civil disobedience, there was a coup d'etat against Nimeiry while he was on an official trip to the US on the 6th of April 1985. The bloodless coup was led by his defense minister, General Abdul Rahman Swar al-Dahab, on the 6th of April 1985. At the subsequent elections, the pro-Islamist leader, Sadiq al-Mahdi, who had earlier attempted a coup against Nimeiry in 1976, emerged prime minister. Nimeiry lived in exile in Egypt from 1985 to 1999. He returned to Sudan in May 1999 to a resounding welcome that surprised many of his critics. The following year, he ran in the presidential election against incumbent President Omar al-Bashir, but got only 9.6% of the votes in elections that were boycotted by the Sudanese opposition and alleged to be rigged. In 2005, Nimeiry's party signed an alliance with the ruling National Congress of Sudan. The National Congress negotiated an end to the Second Sudanese Civil War that was signed in a comprehensive peace agreement on the 9th of January 2005. Nimeiry died of natural causes in his home in Omdurman on the 30th of May 2009. Tens of thousands attended his funeral, including members of Sudan's political forces that had opposed his rule. What have we missed out on this biography of Nimeiry? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.